so much coffee today that technically I am on cocaine. I have multiple personalities, but they are all exactly the same. My psychic friend has short-term memory loss, so she remembers tomorrow like it was today. Yesterday I spilled mustard on my mustard-colored jeans, and today there's an invisible stain. Oh no, oh no, oh no, where'd it go? Oh no, the stain appeared without a trace, and that'll never come out. I know a couple of conjoined twins, but I'm starting to think that they might be the same person, because I've never even seen them in the same room together. Who the hell do they think they're fooling? I'm on to you. I can eat whatever I want. The calories don't count as long as I wear a disguise. Everybody has a birthday coming up, as long as they do not die. The revolution will be televised. In fact, you probably missed it, 'cause it wasn't really advertised. I am a pessimistic narcissist. I always feel empty, but I'm full of myself half the time. I don't know, oh no, I don't. I am perfect, but not every time. Oh, I thought the song was done. I am perfect, but not every time. My sister gave me her new phone number the other day, but I'm pretty lazy, so I just keep using the old number instead. The woman who has that number now is my new sister, and we talk every day. Luckily, they're both named Stephanie, so I didn't even have to change her contact information in my phone. Sometimes I think that my old sister is still trying to reach me, but I don't answer calls from numbers I don't recognize. But anyway, while I was on the phone with Stephanie, she said that she just started doing yoga, and she feels better than ever. She said that I should try doing it too. And I never used to take advice from my old sister, but this time I thought, new sister, new me. But when I tried yoga, I pulled a muscle in my back. It was the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. So I tried to call my doctor, but the number must have changed because some guy answered the phone instead. I said, "Can you recommend something for excruciating back pain?" And he said, "I think you have the wrong number." And I said, "Listen, you're my new doctor now and I need your help. What can I do to make my back stop hurting?" And he said, "I don't know. Have you tried doing yoga?" I was so desperate for relief, so I tried it again. And this time, the pain went away instantly. It was incredible. So I called my new sister. I said, "Guess what? I did yoga." And she said, "That's great. How do you feel?" So I thought about it. And I said, "Actually, I feel about the same as before." What a waste of time. rhetorical question, hypothetically. And what is the meaning of life? Tell me yes or no. That was a trick question. Or was it? I don't know. I don't have all the answers now. How could I when I don't even have all the questions? Ironically, I complain that I do not get sarcasm. Isn't that just great? I want to be a positive person, but that seems so unlikely. Sometimes I think my mind is playing tricks on me, therefore I'm always right. People say that happiness is a choice, but I can never make up my mind. And I know I'm getting older, 'cause now I'm old enough to remember being younger. And now I reminisce about nostalgia, 'cause it used to be better. What if the good old days never happened, but we just don't remember? The future's running late. This trip down memory lane is taking us forever. I always hear people say that money can't buy happiness. But what if I paid them off? Maybe then they'd finally shut up about it. And nothing would make me happier. Don't bother to explain. It'll just go in one ear and right out the other. I don't know anything, but I think therefore I am, or well, at least I think so. I am so totally vain. I probably think this song is about me, even though it's vague. But enough about Carly Simon, let's talk about me. I used to have a plant. It was a rescue. When I got it, it was all sunburned. But now it's dead. It actually took its own life. I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't even home. Back from a 3-week vacation, and I found it lying there lifeless. I might have been able to save it, but I spent a lot of time looking up how to perform CPR on a plant. Apparently you're just supposed to breathe on them. I did suspect foul play at first. Then I found the suicide note. It said, "You never take me anywhere nice anymore. I wanted to be a dancer." Then I thought about the irony of a plant suicide note being written on paper. I wondered how a plant could even write anything without hands. So I turned the note over, and on the back it said, "Dictated but not read." So I buried my dead plant in a pet cemetery. Weeks later, it rose from the grave. I was so terrified I immediately killed it before it had a chance to kill me first. can't even tell. It looks very realistic. All the leaves are wilted and brown. My friend came over the other day. He said, your plant was dead. I said, thanks. It was really expensive. The other night I was playing solitaire with 6 of my best friends. We were talking about how weird it is that there's no I in team, but the word solitaire has 2 I's in it. And then everybody went home. So I started having a conversation with myself in the 3rd person, but I got angry because I thought I was being pretty self-centered. So I started arguing with myself in the 1st person. I said, it's always me, me, me. But what about what I want? Today I was daydreaming about taking a nap because last night I had a dream that I was really exhausted. So as soon as I woke up, I went straight to bed. just said regret. I mean, that's what she told me it said. It was written in Chinese characters. So I just took her word for it. We dated for a while. She gave me the key to her heart. But then she changed the locks. I think it was because I didn't understand metaphors. At least that's what the locksmith told me. I wish it would have worked out because her
Zoom can hear us now. And Mark, you're going live right now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Chirping Bird Comedy. Thank you for coming out tonight. Yeah. This is going to be a good one. I did like, here we go. Jinda is joining the lobby. I do want to point out that we do have a first-time performer on the show tonight, but not just on this show, on Zoom in general, first-time performing on Zoom. So I want Jinda to go extra hard on whatever his penis. I want Jinda to go extra hard on his penis thing. That's basically what I want. Jinda go very. That sounds good. Yes, that's exactly, that came out exactly how I wanted it to come out. Just like Jinda's penis. Well, okay, no, we're going to stop doing that. Extra hard, Sean, you got it. Good to see you, Evil Dave. Nice to see you, Court, Nikki, Sean, Kelly Bear. Is it Bear? Is that like Blue Dog is fucking Brandon? Holy crap, Blue Dog just snuck in here. I just want to point out that I don't know if Brandon, you look like a children's performer, like a children's like just like a bright purple shirt, and then you're like Blue Dog. I'm like, this guy's gonna get canceled soon. This guy's Brandon, you did go from living at Mar-a-Lago to now just being expelled to your refuge in the mountains, where you're going to outlive all of us by killing that deer behind you every single day for the rest of your life. So congratulations. What did I do at the spotlight? Who's being spotlighted on Twitch right now? This is my first time hosting the show. If you're just tuning in, after 5 years of this show running every single week, they decided to give me a shot of hosting it. Now it's Mark. I've been here for a while. It's good to see you all. We got a good show tonight. Michael Magid will be here. He will be here. I'm super happy to have him. He's going to be on the road. He keeps pulling over to use the bathroom and then messaging me and saying, can I do my set now? And I'm like, this is a very strange way to book a comedy show, but sure. So when he appears in the chat, or when he appears here, that's why, Brandon, I was excited to see you, but I thought Blue Dog could have been Michael Magid. It seems like a name that a soccer goalkeeper would have. That's what Michael Magid, he grew up playing goalie in soccer. Hi, Brandon. Happy Marbury versus Madison Day to my favorite legal one. You're going to have to explain this if you're getting it. Let's do, okay.
Marbury versus Madison established that the courts could determine constitutionality of laws and executive orders.
Yeah, it was a power grab, big power grab. The courts really aren't mentioned in the Constitution too much. So the court said, well, we need to do something. So they grabbed authority to decide constitutionality.
Okay, so what does that have to do with this show? Is what I'm trying to,
I don't know.
Like, am I
just greeting Brandon with just a legal greeting for Brandon.
Is
thank
that
you.
by the U.S. Marshals or outside my house right now? I'm trying to figure out. I did watch The Fugitive this weekend, and that was really scary because those marshals come at you pretty fast. I don't really know. Okay. Oh, holy cow! Kadar is drinking something very large. I'm not going to draw attention to another comedian, but the angle we had that looked like it was the size of a propane tank. It was pretty awesome. Holy shit! He's here, guys. I got to see where Majid is at this evening.
It's a 20-ounce soda bottle, and I'm not letting it go to waste, and I don't have any cups.
Uh-oh, does that mean it's being full of urine? That's not. No. Everyone's
soda,
okay.
but yes, later.
Everybody take a swig of whatever drink you have in front of you right now. This is what we're gonna do. I have nothing. I'm not gonna reach over there and drink Irish whiskey or scotch. What does question mark have? Hold on. This is show and tell drinking edition. Icelandic water. Is that
Icelandic water?
All right, there we go. That sounds expensive. Sounds very expensive. Obviously, don't know any lures. Cheers. Nikki, I assume everyone off camera is drinking. Blue Dog, did you bring a beer tonight? Did you bring a beer or a banh mi or something that starts with a B?
IPA of some sort.
Oh, he's got a beer. He's got an IPA. Nice. Nikki's drinking vodka. That's kind of frightening because like I said, I had the White Russian last night. And it was absolutely terrible. I was complaining about it to the bartender, and the bartender goes, "Can I pour some so I could taste it?" And then he did that, and then he tasted it, and then I remembered that he's sober, like he quit drinking. And I was like, "Wait a minute, what'd you do?" And he's like, "Don't worry." He goes, "I don't want another drink of alcohol again after tasting that shit." So if you want to quit drinking, White Russians are the way to go. I don't care about that Coen Brothers movie at all. Are you here? Imagine, are you here? Are you good to perform? I don't know, Michael, where you are at. He's gone? This is getting confusing. We need the U.S. Marshals to invest.
More crowd.
Yeah, Magic's gone. I'm just, oh my God. Kadar, it normally goes a little smoother than this. It's normally not chaotic. I usually have an order before I bring up the first person. That much is true. Usually there's more international comedians. Yeah, last week the conversations about Canadians spilled over into Facebook with other Canadian comedians that weren't on the show. So I don't think I'm allowed in that 51st state of ours. I don't think I'm allowed to travel with a passport or not. No, you guys won the US versus Canada hockey game, which was congratulations. Trump made it political. I had to root for Connor McDavid, which sucked, and Sidney Crosby. I had to root for them because I did not want. I didn't want Trump. I didn't want Trump to win. Handing Trump any L he can get is something to take care of it. And I'm glad I rooted for the Philadelphia Eagles. They won because I rooted for them, and now they're not going to the White House. So this is another big win. It's just petty shit. That's what we're coming down to is petty shit. We're gonna keep doing petty shit. No, I am going to bring up our first comedian because I am running super far behind, and I don't know where Michael Magid went. So I know you love him. He's out in Michigan. You could catch him performing all over around there and other cities as well, or on Zoom, or you just did this like awesome entrance where he popped up from like the floor. I wish I had you spotlight. Do it again. I'm going to spotlight you. Please welcome Nico Lucco.
Oh my gosh! Thanks for having me. Michael just wants an excuse apparently to not do a Zoom show while he's driving apparently, but I think he'll be all right. Mark, you were talking about how long we've been doing this for. You've been doing this show for what, like 5 years now?
The show's been going on probably about 5 years. I've been doing it probably about 3 or 4.
Damn, I was thinking about how long we've been doing the whole Zoom thing for, and it's been like right around 5 years since I started that Facebook group. I started a group. I think a lot of you on here are familiar with it. Some of you aren't, called Displaced Comedians, to connect to do Zooms. Yeah. I had just started doing comedy like right before the world shut down, so I had caught that comedy bug when that bug hit. So I was like, we need to do something. We connected on Zoom, had a lot of fun, did a lot of sets, and connected a lot of cool people on here. And I was actually talking to some people. They're like, "Man, that being in that group like saved my life." Being able to connect. I'm like, "Geez, that's heavy." Like, "Geez, that's incredible." Like, and I'm kind of honored to be a part of it, a little proud to be a part of it. But then I was thinking, I spent thousands of hours like building this community, thousands of hours, and I could have finished college. I could have got a master's degree by now. I could my life and my family's life could be enriched. But I'm glad to be part of all of it. doing all that. And I live in Michigan. As Mark was saying, I live in Michigan. It's a cool state. Yeah, it's cold as fuck, but it's cool. We could smoke weed in Michigan. I think that's pretty awesome. Hell yeah. So fellow Devil's Lettuce advocates in the audience. Oh, okay, see some bag of edibles up there. Hit the pen a little bit here. So, yeah. So what is weird though is I have very strict laws about using cell phones while you're driving in Michigan. Very strict laws about using cell phones while you're driving. So what I do here is I make sure to always have a big bag of weed with me when I'm driving in Michigan. Yeah, just a big bag of weed, right in my lap, just in case I get pulled over and I need somewhere to hide my phone. Nothing to see here, officer. Just me and this big bag of drugs. That's all. They're gonna bust me. They're gonna have to get their phone sniffing dog. That's what they're gonna need for that one. And even if they found the phone, I'd be like, "Oh man, be easy on me. That's not even mine." Right? I was holding that for a friend. That's. I actually thought my friend got ripped off. I didn't have the heart to tell him. I thought it was I thought it was one of those oregano phones going around. Just give you a headache. That's what I heard on those. All right, so I'm gonna get just dive into politics just a little bit. We all saw that Elon thing, right? He did the hand thing that was just super fucking bizarre, right? We all saw that. Yeah. That was wild, and I was amazed that so many people were surprised. To be honest with you, that's what surprised me the most, is that so many people were surprised. I'm like, I thought we all knew collectively that Elon Musk was grandfathered in. That's a new one. That's yes, grandfather was a Nazi. That's that's what that one was about. So I live in Michigan, and I've said that 30 times. I probably won't repeat that again, but I might on accident. But I used to live in Idaho, and when I lived there and I would go somewhere and I would do comedy, the same thing would always happen. People would come up to me after their show and be like, "Oh, Nico, you live in Idaho. I bet you love potatoes." Of course I do. It had nothing to do with living in Idaho, everything to do with being a human. Last time before I moved out here to Michigan, I was doing a show in Portland, Oregon. Got off stage, the guy did that. He's like, big deal, you love potatoes. I'm like, dude, you didn't solve a crime. You didn't solve the mystery of the root vegetable. He's giving himself a little too much credit. Like, dude, acting like it's a big deal that someone in Idaho loves potatoes. That's like me saying, "Oh, you live in Portland, Oregon. I bet you love weed and hate cops." It's like, well, gave it away, Was it my pulse? I don't know. All right, you guys are cool. Yeah, and I actually really like the culture in Portland. They're into older stuff, like throwbacks, like music and art. They're even still doing COVID there. Yeah, I was like, dude, I live in Idaho. We haven't done COVID. I've been doing that joke for 2 years. I don't know. They probably still are doing COVID there. I have no idea. One thing that's different in Idaho, though, is we had lots of guns. Let's give it up for guns, right? Yeah. Woo-hoo. All right, little testing the waters there. All right, bang bang. Got a bang bang from Andre there. They hate that. They hated that part in Portland. They hate that line in Portland. They go silent when it said that, which is actually kind of cool because that means that I figured out a way to get a room full of people in Portland, Oregon, to shut up for a minute. So that's. You're welcome. In Idaho, they go crazy. They're shooting up their guns. I'm like, yo, dude, chill out. I'm just pandering. Relax. But I got friends in progressive places like Seattle and Portland and stuff. I think it's reasonable, responsible for me of not owning a gun. I'm just lazy. I just don't own a gun. That's not a big deal to me. But I got friends in Idaho that thought it made me the crazy one, not owning a gun. I got a buddy who's like, Nico, I can't believe you don't own any guns. I got 17 guns. You should get some guns. And I was just like, look, Kyle. You got 17 guns, man. I don't need any. Yeah, it's called herd immunity. Spent 20 minutes explaining to him that immunity wasn't just something on Law and Order. When I moved to the sound, When I moved to Idaho, though, I didn't get a gun, but I did compromise, and I got myself a potato gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I ever had to like stand my ground, it was gonna be with freshly ground rosemary. And they'll be carb loaded. Instead of using buckshot, I would just put little pieces of like salty chunks of pork. Yeah, that's my bacon bit. That's my bacon bit.
Love bacon.
I think volleyball was invented for people who just don't know how to catch. They're like, basketballs are too heavy, balloons are too light. What do we do? I don't know. I like that one. That one slaps. It's fun for me. I got an email from my kid's school. It said he was late for class, which I thought was kind of weird, because at the time he went to school on Zoom. It was like, how are you late to the place you just wake up, dude? You're just sleeping in, man. But I hated doing the online school during the pandemic. I hated that because there's a weird expectation that as a parent, we were supposed to like help with our kids' education. Right? They want us more involved. I'm like, dude, I paid good money to the state of Idaho. I was supposed to be able to just drop them off in the morning, take them home later, have them come back just slightly less stupid. That was supposed to be the deal we had. Bars were very high. And there's some subjects I didn't really want to help them with. Like my two boys at the time, they were 12 and 13 years old. So like sex ed, right? No, thank you. Y'all deal with that. I mean, to be fair, it was Idaho, so it probably just would have been some dude who just runs through the class and yells, "Don't have sex." And they're like, "What was that?" And they're like, "Well, that was ed." Don't have sex ed. Let's go back to learn about how we should all be Mormons, and then you can, apparently. The other day I sat in a tall wooden chair. I didn't have any armrests. There was no backrest. It was a very uncomfortable experience. But then I put a pillow on it. That helped a lot. It just needed a stool softener. That was a numb ass joke. That was a numb ass joke.
I liked it.
We are not done with the puns. Thank you, sir. I do too. This is very enjoyable to me as well. Yeah, I like the one. I just been sitting on it for a while.
Yeah.
I think it's got legs. That's got legs. That was all right. That was solid.
Good.
I did that one at a live show, and the dude in the front row just went, Jesus Christ. I was like, Jesus Christ, I think he would have loved that joke. Like, that's Carpenter, relatable content. That's what we're doing here on Chirping Bird Comedy tonight on Zoom. Not to get too political again, but folks, I gotta be honest with you. There's a couple of things about the TV show The Walking Dead that I think are unrealistic. Just stay with me, Mark. Stay with me. All right. There's a couple of things about the show The Walking Dead that are unrealistic. Obviously, it's a zombie apocalypse. Everybody's running and jumping over shit and fighting and stabbing and getting stabbed and doing these very difficult tasks. And not one time in the whole show, on any of the offshoots of any of the shows, did any character ever just go, "Oh, fuck, my sciatic." No. Not one fucking L4, L5. Again. We need air support. I need lumbar support. That's nobody. Blue Dog needs lumbar support. Same. You know, the thing that's weird about The Walking Dead is there was the only other thing about The Walking Dead that's unrealistic. Everything else is absolutely realistic, 100%. Is you got all these people doing those same things, right? Jumping over, like doing these crazy things that are push themselves beyond their physical limits and mental capacities that they could ever imagine doing these things. And their reward for like doing all that is being alive. I don't think that aged very well. It's 2025. Like, I'm pretty sure half the people here, just in general, are just here because of science and guilt. That's the main driving forces keeping folks here. And it's almost like dying in the zombie apocalypse, it'd kind of be like losing your job during COVID. Like, no one's going to really ask questions what happened to you. They're just going to assume, like, no one's going to be like, oh, did Mark not do his TPS report properly? Or did he, or did someone just get caught jacking off on Teams too many times? Like, no one's going to know why someone got fired for any of that. That was that part that I want to talk about. Yeah. So I was actually in the hospital for a little while for my back. I hurt my back, and that's actually why I was watching The Walking Dead so much at home. I was just laying there, and it was kind of on the nose to me, like The Walking Dead. I'm like, these motherfuckers are dead, and they get to walk around. I'm just laying here. And I was in the hospital, and they gave this medication called orphanedrine. And I'm usually a say yes to the drugs guy. Say no. If anyone ever offers you orphanedrine, you say no, don't take that. Not a good thing to take. I'm sitting in my hotel. I say it's almost like a hotel. It's a very expensive hotel room, as my hospital was. Very bad. The service wasn't great, to be honest with you. Toilet paper was horrible. Did not leave a good review on those aspects. But I was sitting in my hospital room, looking out the window, and I've seen these clouds go by, and these clouds started getting like really, really fast. Like these Sirius were getting serious. Like it was. And then it started making shapes. I'm like, oh, looking at these cool shapes in these clouds, and all of a sudden the shapes came into the room.
Oh.
Not supposed to do that. No, I was hallucinating, and I'd never hallucinated before in my life, and I wasn't even like scared. I was just enjoying it, and I knew what was going on. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna ride this out. Let's see what happens. I called to the nurses, and I'm like, do you guys see all those snakes kind of floating through the room? Look, do you guys see? No, am I the only one sees that? They were freaking out a little bit, so that was kind of amusing to me. And then another symbol came through, and so I was raised Jewish, and that was a big part of my life for a lot of my life. It hasn't been in quite some time, but I had the symbol, the Chai. I don't know if anyone familiar with the Chai. It's kind of like an H, little squiggly question mark. I was familiar with that. It's just a symbol that people wear like on a necklace, and I wore that for a long time. And this Chai just like came in through the window, just this perfect symbol. And it was interesting because I realized that I'm like loopy as fuck, and my brain's basically like making these things up and saying hello, and they're showing me this symbol. So I'm high, and my subconscious is saying hi by showing me a high. I've got dad jokes on 3 planes of existence, is what I'm saying. Serve me well. I was born without any sense of smell, and timing. Some might say. No sense of smell. It's called congenital anosmia, and I know it sounds like it means my balls have a hard time falling asleep. Not an issue, actually. That part's not what that means at all. I can't smell anything, and it's just a weird. It's a weird thing to have and be afflicted by. It also means though everything smells the same to me. So like roses just smell like shit. It's just not. And to me, farts are just a funny ass sound. That's it. I did have some people. Someone's asked me like, "How's my taste?" Like I think it's pretty good. I don't really know what to compare it to, but how's that affected? How's my taste? I think it's pretty good. Then I remember that there was a good couple of years in the early 2000s where I was really into Nickelback. Taste, I don't really know on that one. Of all the senses to not have, what the ones that are worse to not have in compared to losing a sense of smell is any of them. They're all worse to not have than a sense of smell. And it's like I would hate to like not being able to see. Like I'd be very tired of living like a blind man. If I couldn't hear, I'd be sick of silence with no sense of feelings. That'd be rough. All right, we're a Silver Side Up audience tonight. Hell yeah! And I don't even really think about the fact that I can't smell very often, but sometimes things will come up. Like I brought some pizza home the other night, and my wife and kids are like, that smells so good. It smells so good. I'm like, guys, come on. This is how you remind me of what I really am. Yeah. Are we having fun yet, folks? Mark got that one. Hell yeah! If they made a movie about me where I could see dead people, they just call it The Fifth Sense. All right. I'm going to get sort of close to wrapping it up a little bit here. So my wife and I just celebrated our 22nd wedding anniversary. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, question. But hey, it's nice when people cheer for that. It does get weird when they boo. That's a weird thing that happens sometimes. That happened at a live show. This dude in the front row booed. I was like, who hurt you, man? And then I looked a little closer and I realized he was actually one of the comedians on the show. So I was like, oh yeah, your parents. I know. I know why you're broken and must do this. One thing great about my wife and I's relationship after all this time, we're still learning things about each other. You know, it keeps it like interesting and exciting. Like recently I learned that my wife, she's just a real witch. And I don't mean she just shops at Spencer's Gifts and has more than one Yankee candle. Like she's the real deal. Her and her covenant rituals, I call them witchuals. Welcome. You know, she's always had this old display case she calls altar. I don't know furniture terms. I don't know. Just had normal stuff like shiny goblets and curvy blades and these dolls with needles jabbed into their backs to kind of look like me. That's weird, I guess. I think it's convenient that my wife's a witch. It's convenient my wife's a witch because she says that when she dies, she wants to get cremated. Historically. So I got rid of a witch, man. That was a slow burn. Fast one. Now, my wife likes that joke. At least that's what she says when she's hunched over a pot stirring and glaring at me. It's a little weird. Our oldest kid, when he was 13, told my wife and I that he decided to become Christian. Yeah, I was like, that son of a witch. You were cool. You know, I don't care what religion anybody is, but you know, like I said, I was raised Jewish. I don't really have a religion now. My wife's pagan. This was just wasn't the rebellion we anticipated, right? So, but when he told me he wanted to be Christian, I was taken aback. I didn't want to push him away. Like I still want to be a good, supportive father, just like every comedian's always wanted. So I just gave him a hug, you know, and I'm like, it's gonna be okay. I love you no matter what. Some of my best friends are Christian. But couldn't you just be gay or something? Like that'd be so much easier to deal with. You know, if we had caught him doing the normal stuff like smoking and drinking, you know, like a normal kid, they do that thing where you sit him down with a bottle of Jack and a pack of American Spirits and like, all right, you got to finish all that right now, then tell us where you stand, if you can stand. But now what, make him read the Bible, go to church all weekend, be like, oh, you think you like communion? Here's a whole loaf of bread at once. I wouldn't even cut the edges off how he likes. Yeah, the crust for Christ. Love the groans. And my wife and I were laying in bed. We're like, oh, where'd we go wrong? You know, he didn't learn this from us. Maybe it's a phase. I don't know. I wonder, is there like a camp we can send him to? Because like that's the conversion therapy I'd be supportive of. You know, like if I could send him to a camp and he came back and he wasn't Christian anymore. Well, like what if this was a trade-off? What if he came back, he wasn't Christian, but then he was into guys? Like if that was the trade-off, he wasn't Christian, but then he was into the fellas. I don't know, fine, maybe that'd be better. I don't know, maybe they could just gay the prey away. So I told my son I was talking about this at shows, and I was legitimately concerned, like legit worried for months when I was starting to talk about this, because I was worried he didn't want me to. Like he'd tell me to stop, and then I had to lie and tell him that I stopped, and I don't think Jesus would like that very much. But here's the thing, he actually liked the whole bit. How could he not? It was fun. But here's what he was worried about, though, because he it was just a phase. Apparently, he'd come back to his senses, some would say. But he's no longer Christian. He's no longer exploring that. And he was worried that I wasn't explaining that to anybody. I was like, you're right. I haven't figured out a fun way to say that at shows on stage. And he told me what to say. He told me to tell you all that the camp worked. Wow. His girlfriend does not like that part. So I said all that at his show, and I take him to some live shows sometimes. I get off stage, and after he's telling me how brilliant that witch joke was, he's like, Dad, you didn't say the rest of what I told you to say. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, Dad, you didn't also say that I'm not actually gay. I'm like, I can't just say, and he's not actually gay. Like, that's not funny. There's no joke to that. But then I was like, dude, I made up a girlfriend for you. You should be thanking me. Hey, I'm going to get out of here. And if you guys want a sticker that says Gay the Pray Away, find me on the socials. Half the funds that I get for that, I send to the Trevor Project, an organization that helps young people who are not straight with suicide prevention and crisis help and that kind of thing. I do that in the name of Noah Hagen. A friend of mine lost her son, and that's the name, and we do it to kind of keep his name alive. And the other funds go to another worthy cause, me, a comedian with 3 kids who are going to need a lot of fucking therapy someday. So hey, thank you, Mark. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of the show. We've got a killer lineup. Have a great night, folks.
Yeah, one more time for Nico. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I do want to point out, definitely go check out and buy one of his stickers. Go check him out on social media. Go post your Instagram and your handles and everything, and your threads and your MySpace and all that. Just post it all in there. But and if you do like what you see too, you can donate to our Venmo, and I will split that up with all of the performers that are on the show tonight. And as always, the Venmo uses my real first and last name, and every time I put it in the chat, it's just so funny. It's just so funny. I don't know why my last name is that funny, but I do want to make. All right, everyone finds it funny, and that's the name I have to tell all my that's the name my coworkers know me by. That is that is the one that I have to use at work all the time. But no, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for Nico. Go buy his sticker. I'm gonna go do that too. So he just posted his social media stuff in there. Why did Nico? That was you just got ahead of Jinda on that one. Okay, I haven't heard from Michael Magic yet. I don't like that. I don't. Let's stop doing that. Next penis in the chat is gonna get booted. That's what I'm gonna do. No, I'm not gonna do it. Jinda, I'm not going to do it. You're safe, unless you're Jinda. Jinda could do it. I like that I cut over to the Twitch stream and we have commercials and they're great. One was for like luggage. One was like, don't you want to just get the fuck out of here? I was like, oh my God, I am not the type of person that can be hawking luggage. You were talking about Eric Sizemore joining America's Librarian. Brandon, how many felonies were either discussed or committed so far in the sets tonight? Because there's at least a couple in there between the bag of weed, the cell phone, actually hit off of that vape pen. There was a lot going on. They're kidnapping children and sending them to camps. That might be even a crime itself too. So I don't know, Brandon, what's the ballpark? Where are we at on crime tonight? Brandon is the resident legal counsel. He's going by Blue Dog tonight. Don't know why.
Well, I believe that given that there's an ex-felon in the White House, all felonies are absolved for the foregoing 4 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So we're purged.
It's the purge. We are good. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. No, just don't steal from my Venmo. I need that for the comedian. So I don't know if that's even possible. Do not steal my identity. Thank you very much. Yeah, Nico, you're talking about it was weird though. You're talking about having to teach your kids sex ed because they were doing the COVID, remote telecommuting school, and they wanted parents to do what parents had done for generations until very recently, which was teach the children not to be dumbasses and teach them all that stuff. But it is weird though. Like, I think that's true. I think it's the one thing, right? You want to outsource the sex ed stuff because when I was in grade school, it was our gym teacher that taught the sex ed classes, that taught the health classes. So it was like the same person that you'd have to change in front of would just describe the changes that were happening to your bodies. And then he finally started to explain what sex was to everybody. And we're all like, yeah, we kind of got the gist of it. We got it. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to talk about birth control. And I was like, is that why you taught us square dancing? Was that or was it the pickleball? I don't know. But why are you teaching us these things? Because they're not helping. Okay. Sean got the jizz of it. Got the jizz of it. No. Oh, Eric Sizemore, what's happening going on this show? Jizz. See, people are whatever happened to Jinda, whatever brainworm he has, that the compulsion to make these poems that we love so much, it's the penis thing is rubbing off on everybody else. It's going on. I also changed my shirt. There's no stain on the shirt. We are good. So we can keep going. You missed a P. I'm gonna find the haiku. Eric Sizemore. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sign off and I'm gonna read it. I do want to bring up our next comedian though. It is his first time performing on Chirping Bird. He is from Boston, Massachusetts. So you could see him around town there. And if he's doing shows, you can check him out. And it's his first time actually performing ever on Zoom. So give a warm round of applause and a welcome, a warm Chirping Bird welcome and Twitch welcome. We can hear you if you type very loudly. Maybe we could hear your keyboard. All right. To Kadar Kalkar!
Hey, how are we?
Yeah.
We having a good time?
Yes.
This is weird. I'm talking to my camera. I don't know. I've never done a Zoom show before. Yeah, it's cool. It's nice. You have no idea like how recently I jacked off. You have no idea. Maybe I do. But the camera is cutting it off, so that's good for me. That's nice. A little bit about me. My name is Kadar Kelker, but my friends call me racial slurs. I am. It's weird. I love when people say I'm not racist. That's my favorite sentence in the entire English language is I'm not racist. Because it's the only time you kind of want them to be racist. Does that make sense? Someone says I'm not racist, you're like, come on, slurs. Like you're so excited. And then when they like don't say anything racist, you're furious. You're like, you're talking about parrots? No, I want that you, but you just, I had all this excitement and joy for the upcoming racism and now it's gone. Somebody said I'm not racist to me the best way possible. Recently they said, I don't see color. I love when someone says I'm not racist that way because it kind of implies that's the only thing holding them back. Does that make sense? They're like, I'm not racist because I can't find them. It's like, oh my God, that's your reason? Like, I have all these slurs and no receptacle. I'm like, oh my God. Somebody called me, I moved to Boston only recently. Somebody called me a sand N-word the moment I got here.
Wow.
Oh yeah, sand N-word. It's weird. It's weird to be called a slur, by the way, you're not allowed to say. That's a weird experience. I can't even report the crime. They're just like, I can't even report the crime to like the cops. I'm like, he called me sand. I'm done. I'm not finishing that. Also, sand N-word is such a weird thing because it kind of like, it means that somebody looked at the regular N-word and was like, I can beat that. I can top that, actually. Watch me add some seasoning. But not racist. Check it out. Yeah. Do you like it? I like live in Boston. Like I said, I only just moved here. I moved here from Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts, exact opposite cities. Because like Austin, Texas is a very conservative city, but they say the right words. Boston's a very progressive city, but they refuse to say the right words. Does that make sense? I'll give you an example. Like Austin's an entire city of people being like, oh, non-binary. We hate them. And then Boston's an entire city of people being like, don't touch our fucking queers. And you're like, oh my God, it's ally. I don't know, though. I like it. All right, I think I've made it a solid 2 minutes. I'm going to just talk about it. I just got a surgery done, and I'm in recovery. I'm bedridden, and I have a catheter. Does anybody here know what a catheter is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know what a catheter is, it's a tube in your penis. And I've had a tube in my penis the entire time I've been talking.
Wow.
So it's quite frankly impressive that I made it this long without mentioning the tube in my penis. Does that make sense? Like, this is my first time in a comedy show ever talking about the tube in my penis. And it's weird to talk about anything that's not the tube in your penis. It really is. It's hard to care about anything else when you have a tube in your penis. Like, I have to go back to work finally for the first time on Wednesday, and I have an annoying coworker who's going to tell me about her stupid skiing trip, and it's my responsibility to just pretend to be like, wow, that's really interesting. I have to, oh my God, that's the whole time I'm going to have a tube in my penis. The whole fucking time. I'm going to have one. And I'm not even, by the way, because of workplace rules, I don't get to tell her. I don't get to top her skiing story because she's eating or whatever. I have to keep that to myself. It's not, I don't even get why, by the way. It's not like it's going to be sexual harassment. That's not sexual harassment. There's nothing sexually harassing about a tube in my penis. That's just me suffering with a place that could be sexual, but not right now. These are all new ideas. I'm sorry. Also, it genuinely changes your whole perspective. Every time I smile right now, I feel guilty because I have a tube. Like, I'm worried people are going to think, I think he might like having that tube up there. I think he might. He's smiling. He found a way to be happy while having a tube in his penis. That's disgusting. Gross. This guy sucks. I had to fly. I got the surgery done in Austin. That's where my family lives. And I flew to Boston. So I flew, and it changed. Like I said, it changes your whole perspective. I was interacting with people, strangers, with not only a tube in my penis, but also a bag of piss strapped to my ankle. A little girl waved at me. She was like, hi, you know, it was like her first time ever meeting somebody. She was like, hi, hey, hello, you know. And I wanted to wave back, but I have this bag of piss just on my leg. I don't think you get to meet children when you have a bag of piss. You just don't get to do that. I just ignored her. I got on the flight. There was this Mexican lady, and she was nervous. It was her first time flying. She was like, I'm really scared the plane's going to go down. And I wanted to comfort her. I wanted to be like, oh, you know, everything's going to be all right. You know, the world's a scary place. But what the fuck do I have a bag of piss on my leg? You can't comfort people when you have a bag of piss and a tube in your penis. I only get to speak of dread. That things are shitty. Life sucks is the only message I get to have right now. I'm glad I have material about it, because right after it happened, I was drawing a complete blank. I couldn't think of any material about the tube in my penis. And that's even worse, is when you have nothing to say, when that just happens. And then you're like, yeah, you know, and then I just continue with my life. I talk about pedophiles a lot when I do stand-up comedy. It's a thing I do. I don't know. You're supposed to talk about your life, but I don't really have one of those. So I just talk about pedophiles. I don't know. I got in trouble recently because I was doing this joke about Jeffrey Dahmer. Are we familiar? Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I got in trouble. This lady got really mad at me. I called Jeffrey Dahmer a pedophile. She got mad at me because she said most of his victims were adults. And I was like, yeah, most. I've always felt like being a pedophile is one of those one and done type of deals. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like being a pedophile isn't like a 3 strikes and you're out type of situation where it's like, well, you all get 2, you know. It's I don't know, you know. Basically all I was saying was Jeffrey Dahmer was a monster who murdered and fucked children and also adults. And then he ate them. And all I was saying was I hope that they were his favorite food. Because I think it's more fucked up if they're not his favorite food. I think it's really messed up if Jeffrey Dahmer, his favorite food was like spaghetti. I think that's fucked up that he would then still eat children when he totally could have just gotten a bottle of ragu and just fixed everything. I just think, I don't know. I guess if you do a fucked up thing, it should be your favorite thing to do, is all I'm saying. You know, like if I threw like a dinner party and Jeffrey Dahmer was one of my guests and I put out food for everyone, you know, I put out like pasta and salad and sandwiches. And then off in the corner, I had like a child in shackles for Jeffrey. And then 3 hours into the party, if Jeffrey hasn't even touched his child, I'd be a little miffed as like a host. You know, I'd be like, hey, I fully caught my child for you. You're the only one who's going to eat that. What am I going to do? I'm going to go to my other guests and be like, hey, do you mind? Jeffrey said he's not in the mood or he's full. I had tacos on the way. I don't know. Try your best to be a good person. I don't know. I live in the city. It's hard to be a good person in the city because every time I walk out of my door, there's a homeless guy sleeping like right on my doorstep, right against my doorstep. It's hard to be a good person when every day starts with you teabagging a homeless man so you can step over him. That's not good. The best thing I do to be a good person is I'm very meticulous about when I wash my ball sack because I'm just like, well, I know somebody has to smell this in like 10 seconds. So I want to be a good person, yeah. I don't know. I think I was raised well. I had a good family. I had a good mom. I had a good dad. My parents have a good marriage. My dad gives my mom a flower every day, which I think is really sweet, isn't it? That's sweet. My dad gives my mom a flower every day. Yeah. I was talking to my mom. He's been giving her flowers from her garden, which I don't know if that's sweet anymore. I think that's just killing a woman's flowers. I'm pretty sure. That's every day. My dad just goes into my mom's garden, kills one of her tulips, and then here you go, you dumb bitch. Like he just goes into. I killed one of your friends. Very frugal though. I'm very proud of my dad. He moved to America from a very tough place. Very tough place. Like he grew up in a very rough part of India called India. And like when he was growing up in India, he couldn't really get any clean water. And now that he lives in America, he refuses to drink water if it doesn't have any lemon wedges in it. Which, I don't know. In India, you can't drink water without polio in it. I think it's a little late for standards. Somebody pull back on a polio joke? I think it's gonna be
I don't know.
I've said worse things already. I think we're on an uphill climb. It's gonna be okay. Some comedians start with like the nicer material and then they go to the pedophile stuff. I went right in. So everything afterwards is gonna be nice and clean and fun. Maybe not clean, but fun. This is so weird because it's like I think this is going all right, but if this was going terribly, I'm just sitting. I'm just here. Like after I turn the camera off, I'm still just sitting in my bed. It's devastating. I'm gonna jack off again. I think so. I think I've decided. I don't know. I was doing this one show one time, and it didn't go very well. It didn't go very well. My friend was trying to comfort me after the show. They go, "Oh well, you tried your best. You gave it your all. You tried your best." And I think they said that in like a way that's supposed to be comforting, but I don't think that's really comforting. You tried your best. That's the greatest insult you could ever give anyone, is that you tried your best after things don't go very well. To be like, oh my God, your nightmare came true and everything went terrible. And now hundreds of people want you to die and kill yourself. Mm-hmm. That was your best, just so you know. I want you to know that's the best you're capable of. You're not topping that. I want you to be fully aware of who you are. It's over. First insult.
Fuck.
I think. I don't know. I am in therapy, though. I'm in therapy because that's how I take comfort. It's an insult. I'm in therapy. I could never do what a therapist thinks, by the way. I could never do. Therapists, they're very amazing because they'll say, hey, they'll take like what you say and then they'll comfort you. They'll like confront you sometimes even with your problems. Like you'll have a shitty behavior and they'll go, oh, you shouldn't be that way, But I wouldn't do that if I was a therapist. I think I'd be a bad therapist. If you said like, hey man, I'm really struggling with this, and then you handed me $300, I'd be like, wow, it sounds like everyone else is the problem, honestly. Like if you were like, oh, my girlfriend's making me go on a picnic with her and I don't want to go on a picnic, I'd be like, the moment you hand me the cash, I'm like, she sounds like a bitch, honestly. You should hit her. She sucks. I don't really, I like this. I like you. You rock. She is garbage. It's tough. I don't like it. I don't like therapy because you tell them your problems and then they're still your problems. I don't like that. Once I pay you, those are your problems, I think. You know what I mean? Like once you're like, I gave you money. I feel like I didn't get a product unless those are your issues now, My abandonment issues are yours to fix. I'm not helping. That's when you pay for a massage parlor, they're not like, all right, you do your right side, I'll do your left side. Like, no, they do the whole back. You have no part to play. All right, that's not funny? Okay, I think that's funny. Funny. That's all right. All right. I don't know. I'm a pretty small guy. You can't see that right now because I'm taking up my whole camera. But I'm a pretty short guy. I'm not a very intimidating guy. I was leaving a bar recently. It was like 1 a.m. I was walking home. There was this lady. She was like 20 feet in front of me. She got really scared because she heard somebody walking behind her. She turns around, sees it's me, and then she goes like this. She goes, yeah, fuck you. I could be a threat. I'm not, but believe in me. You know what I mean? Out like that's such an inside thought, right? Like out loud, she could have been like, "Uh-oh, spaghetti-o," dive on a dumpster. Like, I hope you didn't see me. She could have made us both feel good. I don't know. It just sucks because like now I'm going to the gym, which I don't know. What a shitty reason to be going to the gym that is, right? They ask you, they're like, "What are your fitness goals?" I'm like, "Oh, I want to make women uncomfortable at night." Apparently, they feel safe around me, and I'm not okay with it. That's. I hate this surgery. I hate having this catheter. I'm bedridden right now. I love traveling so much. I learn a lot traveling. I went to West Virginia last February last year. And I didn't know this. I didn't know West Virginia celebrates Black History Month. I didn't know they did that. I didn't know you're allowed to celebrate Black History Month if you don't have any Black people. I didn't know you could do that. I thought that was like the main ingredient, honestly, to that recipe is having Black people. It's kind of weird, honestly, that they celebrate it, isn't it? And they're like, we don't have any, but we like them. I'm like, oh, you should be racist. It's like you've never met anyone that's different. I don't know. West Virginia is an interesting place. They're very liberal people, which is sometimes shocking because they don't act like it all the time. But they're very like, we stick together. And then it's like, oh, okay, do you want to write down that we're sticking together? It's like, no. Now we're going to kill you. We only like sticking together emotionally. The moment it becomes documented and drafted, we're opposed. They're very in-person liberal, I think. It's weird. I don't like the way my liberal friends sometimes will argue with conservative. Actually, wait, hang on. Sorry, I don't know what my time is.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got like 7 or 8 minutes left.
Maybe 7 or 8. Oh shit.
If you want it, yeah. If you want.
I mean, I'll take it. How long have I been talking?
Like 13.
Holy shit! All right, I'll keep going. Fucking Christ. 13? Wow, I thought that felt like 6 or 7. Oh my gosh. I hope it was going because here's the thing, I'm totally comfortable ruining your night. So it could have been a short, like it could have been a very long time, but I was having such a good time not doing well. Kidding, I'm teasing. But what was I talking about? Was liberals, conservatives, you know? Yeah, I have liberal friends and I have conservative friends. I don't always like the way my liberal friends or my conservative friends talk to each other, you know? I don't like the way they argue. I think we argue in very weird ways. Like on an abortion, I think we argue abortion in a very weird way. Like conservative friends, my conservative friends, they would be like, abortion is murder. And then my liberal friends would be like, abortion is about women's rights. That's a weird way to argue, isn't it? Because we're not even on the same, like they just accused you of murdering children. And then you hit them with women's rights. That's not even the same platform. Like you can't win that. If someone accuses you of murder and then anything you say that's not about whether or not you're murdering a child is a moot and irrelevant point. It just doesn't matter. It's not going to help. It's like, I think you're murdering a child. It's like, well, I care about women. It's like, oh shit, good point. Let's do it. I got a knife right here. Let's fucking stab the shit out of a pregnant lady. Like there's no way to win that argument if that's how you're arguing. I'm like, whether or not you're right or wrong, it just doesn't matter. You can't win that fight. Like imagine winning that fight. Imagine a courtroom battle. There's a prosecutor and he's like, you just murdered this baby. And then the defense goes, well, now hang on. Let's not forget what Ruth Bader Ginsburg once said. You lose. Like you go to jail. Just immediately, that's the worst defense possible. Not because Ruth Bader Ginsburg didn't say that, but because there's a dead baby. It's weird they brought it into the courtroom, but it's there and it smells.
Ah.
Yeah. You have to go to jail. I did I think I'm going to get out of here on this, but I'll tell you a little thing. Let me pull this up. It's a little bit about my job. I actually am a robotics engineer, which is a pretty good job.
Woo!
Yeah, thank you. It's funny. People always get mad at immigrants. They're always like, oh, immigrants are stealing our jobs. I'm like, I'm not stealing your job. I'm building the robot that's stealing your job. That's different. Fair game. I'm like the airboat of downsizing. Found a loophole. I like my job though. It's a pretty good job. It's good. I got fired from my last job. It was also in robotics. And right after I got fired, I asked if I could get stock in the company because it was a startup, what a fun way to admit that you totally deserve to be fired is that you still believe in the company. Mm-hmm. Like you're firing me, you're going to make it. I would like to invest. So I'm going to be a millionaire. You have the wisdom to let me go? You're a genius. Good job. I've been fired a few times. I've been fired a couple times. And both times I got fired, good thing happened right away, like right afterwards. Like the first time I got fired, I lost my virginity later that day. Second time I got fired, they had to give me a windfall amount of money that was pretty significant. So the third time I got fired, I was kind of just hoping they would give me a jet ski. Like I was sitting there just like they were like, you can go now. Like we told you, you can go. And I was like, no, I understand that, but you have to give me the keys. I can't just leave. I don't have to call you back and be like, no, you never dropped it off. You never gave me that thing. Mm-hmm. All right. It took me a while. It took me a while to find my current job. Because I don't know, the job market wasn't great and I got a lot of rejections. And it always sucks to get rejected from a job application. It does. Because you weren't asking for anything. Like, it's not like when you ask a girl to go on a date, you're asking for her time and possibly things go well, you're going to spend your whole lives together. You know, if things go really well, you're going to spend your whole lives together. But when you're asking for a job, you're just asking to be their bitch. Like, you're asking to do whatever they want. You're asking to be their servant. So when they say no, it's like, oh, you're not even good enough to be beneath me. Like, you don't even qualify to be unhappy at my place. All right, is that just sad? I think that's funny. All right. I don't know. A bit devastating. All right. All right, I'm not going to end on that because that didn't go well. I'm sad. I'll end on this instead. I'll end on this. I'm not gay. But I would let a guy suck my dick. That's where I stand sexually, is I would let a guy suck my dick. because I would let anyone suck my dick. That's just anyone who offers that is just, yeah, of course. Any situation that ends with somebody offering to suck your dick is a situation you handled perfectly. That's just, you nailed that. You did all the right steps and then you got the right thing. Like if I kicked a toddler and then 3 hours later somebody offers to suck my dick, as long as it's not the toddler, I'm saying yes. Like I'm totally, yeah, of course. This is just who I am now. I'm a person who hurts children because then I get sucked off. Why would I change? That's great. All right. I think that's enough for me. I'm gonna end it on. That's a weird note to end it on, but I had a good time.
Yeah, oh my God.
My name is Kadar Kalker. Like Mark brought up, I live in Boston. So if you guys ever want to come to a live comedy show in the Boston area, love to see you guys there.
Yeah.
Kadar Kalkar. And if you come to his show, he'll kick the toddler again. If you drive out and see him in person, once he gets the tube removed from his penis, that was probably a chirping bird first. I do want to point that out. It wasn't just his first set. That was the first time I think somebody performed with a catheter. So that was very, very interesting. Congratulations and happy first time on the Zoom. Happy first time on Chirping Bird. Thank you all on Twitch. Michael Magid is having problems. I did see him here for a minute, but now he's having problems. So I don't know if he's going to make it. So it's just me from here on out. It is just me. And I am going to bring back a segment that many of you loved, which is show and tell, because I do want to show off this hat I got. I want to point out this is my favorite hat. I got it at a thrift store. I bought it at the Salvation Army on Clybourne Avenue in Chicago, if you're familiar. And the reason it's special is because I saw it and I instantly knew I would never have to make a reservation at a restaurant again, because it just says on it. You can walk into any restaurant with this thing on and you get the best fucking service. You don't even have to wear it. You just like have it hanging out of your pocket. It's all, you can park wherever you want. You can park right in front of the restaurant, right in front of a fire hydrant. It is the best hat. Leave it on your dashboard. See what happens. So that is my show and tell. It is my favorite hat. It is one of the weirdest hats. Way too tight. I think it was a child Cook County Health Inspector. One of those little children,
little people.
Yeah, there we go. So this is the hat. This is it. Is it illegal for me to be wearing this hat, Brandon, in public, or I just can't? If I don't address it, I could wear it, right?
Yeah, you're not saying you're employed there. You're just saying you're a supporter.
And then I'm a big fan. That's my favorite team. I'm rooting for the health department. Hell yeah! I'm rooting for it. I really wanted to pull out this hat because I went to a cafe. I won't say it by name, but I went to a cafe in Chicago on Saturday. Me and my wife have been wanting to go to for a long time, and we're like, finally, we're out in the area. Let's go there. And we went there, and it was 3:45. I checked multiple times. They were open until 6. I even checked the door when I walked in because I had to pay for a parking spot. I had to pay like $1.50 for an hour of parking. I get inside, and then the guy just tells my wife, in 13 minutes, we close for a private event. So you got to get your food to go. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And I wanted to go put the hat on. I wanted to put the hat on and be like, a private event, you say. Yeah, I that was me. I booked it. This is a surprise private health inspection. But no, I did not do that. But then I messaged them on Facebook on the next day, and I just said, "Did you guys?" Because I don't think they actually closed. I think the guy just didn't want to work. He just wanted to fucking go home at 4:00. There's no way. Because then I sat in front of the place and didn't know where to go next, and I paid for my parking meter already, so I just sat in my car in front of the place. No large group of people came. Nobody left. People went in and ordered food regularly. He just didn't want to serve us at all. So I messaged on Facebook the next day and I said, did you guys really close at 4:00 on Saturday? And nobody's responded in 48 hours. So I don't really know what's going on. I don't know. I'm going to go back to with this hat. All I'm saying is I'm going to go back. I'm going to do it. The funniest thing about this place, this is the weirdest thing. It said they had a sign on the door that said, no politics, like, don't be a jerk, leave if you're a jerk, but no politics inside. And it was only sign on the door, not private event, just that sign that said no politics. And I'm sitting in my car and I see a lady walk out look at the sign, read it, and go like, oh, okay, and then go back inside like she got checked for talking about politics. She was like, I guess it is a rule. I guess I won't bring up Elon Musk. I don't know. Like, I don't, and it's like a pretty liberal neighborhood. I don't want to say the name of the place, but I assume it's a pretty left-leaning place. So it was very strange that the sign was up there. I don't really know what's going on, though. This is going to be good. How many of us have lost out to the old private event camp? Is that a thing? Is that a thing, Blue Dog? Is that a thing, Brandon? Has that happened to you, too? Have you lost out to private event?
You show up, you go out of your way, you show up, you escort your lovely date into the, and then it goes, hey, sorry, closed tonight for private event.
You know, this. How many of us? I think enough for a class action lawsuit. I think. I think we need to. I think we need to start. We need to start sending letters and warnings that if you're not keeping regular hours, then you're going to, number one, lose your liquor license. And number two, I'm going to roll in with this hat and scare the shit out of your employees with a nicely worded letter from Brandon that has no legal authority. That's just, you know, I'm learning from the people somewhat in charge of this country right now. I'm learning that you could just assert the power that you want to have and then wait for somebody to stop you is the American way. That is the new American way. I now command everybody to donate to my Venmo. Donate to my Venmo. So I could split it up among two. It'll go extra far today. Because there's only two comedians performing. Michael Magic had trouble joining the Zoom. So I'll probably just have him on next week. I'll test out the Zoom with him next week. I can't believe you guys are all still here. You guys are the best. Question Mark wanted me to tell everybody that this Thursday is National Chili Day. It is National Chili Day. So I'm going to be eating chili, which I usually eat every Monday, but I haven't had it in a couple weeks. So I've been saving up. I've been building up to have a big one on Thursday. So question Mark, me and you could sit there when you're eating your bowl of chili and realize that we're having the same meal because I'll be doing it too. So happy Thursday is National Chili Day. Just followed by beating up a DC cop and you'll get a pardon. Oh yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I see where you're going with that. I don't think it's gonna work. I think the window for me to have done that was years ago. I don't think I could do it now. I think the Law and Order Party, when it aligns with their political beliefs, they're in charge now. We're all going to be traveling to Canada and crashing on Lorna and Andre's couch. The Pratik method of refugeeism. That's it. Otherwise, though, I got a few people next week. I'll probably get Michael Magid on next week as well. But thank you all for coming out. Thanks for watching me go through a wardrobe change. Now I'm wearing a hat. Now I'm wearing a different shirt. This is the most wardrobe changes we've had. Good to see you, Eric Sizemore. Eric Sizemore, how's that new job? Eric Sizemore joined the private sector.
Uh-oh. No. Wow, just a project. Then, it's great. I loved it. I met fun librarians. I got to photograph aerial maps. It was delightful.
There we go. That's what happens. They want all the government employees to go to the private market, and meanwhile I'm going to sneak into the government jobs. I'm just going to start being a helper. You don't need to pay me. I just want to get the perks of going in and acting like I could close down a place and then threaten to do so. Yeah, all the perks, Brandon. You don't pay taxes on perks, right? You don't have to. They're untaxed.
Taxes, schmaxes. They just fired all the IRS employees. Come on.
Oh my God. They already withheld all my taxes for last year. I'm not. So now that means you're not. If you overpaid, you're not getting a refund. It's what everyone's like. Yeah, the IRS agents are going. I'm like, we already paid your taxes, dude. Oh boy. I mean, this is on me because I always held it against Trump. I always said he wanted that postcard tax filing thing, and he had 4 years to fucking do it, and he didn't do it. And he's gonna by all means necessary, fire enough IRS employees to get us to just file where we just write a number between 0 and like 100,000 on a piece of paper, and then his buddies stamp it. Basically, is all it's gonna.
Oh God.
So yeah, we're gonna get the postcard filings. I think we are, and I don't want it anymore. I thought I wanted it. I don't want it. I miss TurboTax. Bring on TurboTax. Intuit is fine. I'm into it. Okay, thank you guys for coming out on Twitch as well. Abigail Hydrangea and Unknown 420. Good to see you as always. Good to see you, Laughing Larry AI. Good to see you, question mark. Thank you all for coming out today. I'll see y'all next week. Goodbye. Good night. Bye. Good night.